Good morning. Today is Wednesday, December 19th, 2 days before the world ends. And what's been on my mind lately is how people are more concerned, more significantly Christians are more concerned with petty things that are inconsequential in light of eternity. Things like superficial style and reputations and image, and little things like little bits of technology and just the little things in life that do make life better. Nothing wrong with them in themselves. But when we are more concerned about those things than the meaningful, purpose, valuable things like relationships and time with God, that's when serious problems start to build. And it is completely evident in our culture that we are materialistic in the church. And the tragedy is evident in the state of our culture, because the state of a culture and the health of a culture is parallel to the health of the church of that either community or nation. And so when you see the state of our nation and communities, it is all too evident that there are serious problems manifesting in all sorts of different ways, and not just in Connecticut last week with murders, but with extreme apathy and neglect of people who are much, much, much worse off than ourselves. And we think we're poor when we only spend $20 a day on food. We think, oh man, I don't want to have to eat the bottom of the chips in the bag, and the chips in the bottom of the bag, or eat all my scraps on my plate. I want to be able to eat well and live comfortably. Well, that whole train of thought and mentality is utterly despicable in context of the depravity that this world undergoes all day, every day. It is incomprehensible to think of how we complain the first world problems, and yet they may be funny to laugh about, but in reality it is extremely tragic to think about. We complain of eating, mediocre meals or cold lunches when, I don't know the statistics, but easy to say, the majority of people on Earth don't get 3 square meals a day, or even 1 meal a day. Half or the majority of Earth is in poverty. And poverty, we don't really understand. If you're watching this video, you probably don't understand poverty, because we haven't missed a couple days of meals because we don't have shoes on our feet or an opportunity to work, because America still is incredibly prosperous, incredibly fruitful in context of the rest of the world. Tragically, America should be decades ahead of where it is now, but due to complacency and liberalism and false Christianity, we are letting our fat bellies sustain us and not building any more muscle. We are not that concerned about politics because they are juicy and complicated and controversial. Yet, if we read just simple things like the pamphlet Common Sense that sparked the American Revolution, it is all the same things that are happening right now, which is apathy and illegitimate government. We're not that concerned about what doesn't immediately affect us. It is short-sighted sin. That's what it is, because we are so wrapped up in ourselves that if it doesn't affect us, short-sighted, even thinking a year ahead, that's still short-sighted. If it doesn't affect us within a year, we'll put it off. And so we're dealing with all kinds of problems that have stemmed from just this accumulation of apathy and laziness and groupthink. Basically, the essence of communism, that, we'll take care of each other, but since I'm being taken care of, the government's taking care of all sorts of stuff. And not just the people on food stamps and whatnot, but we feel so safe that we don't have any concern or desperation, not even desperation, but seriousness on our daily basis at work, because we aren't desperate when we have a job. We don't take every opportunity and truly work as hard as we can when we don't need to. We're not literally pressed. Even our boss isn't asking us to do more. But there are things that we see we can do that are better, that make us more profitable and productive and helpful and just altogether better. Yet we don't take them because we don't need to. We aren't hard pressed enough. And that is like someone handing you a deed that says, if you do everything that you can do, you will get this reward in, say, 5 years. Well, we think, man, that's going to make these next 5 years a little bit harder. The reward will be nice. Say it's $100,000 bonus or $1 million bonus. The reward will be nice, but man, that 5% increase of hard work, man, I don't want to do that. I already got $50,000 a year and everything I need, so I'm not that concerned about it. Well, little do we know, something happens, and we needed that 100 or $1 million, and see, that's how life is. And that is the lie that we are all buying into, the lie of credit and debt. That, yes, if life was perfect, debt wouldn't be a problem because we would never run into any unforeseen problems. Well, you don't have to be 15 years old before you start realizing that life throws wrenches into your plan on a consistent basis that are unforeseen or sometimes foreseen in just selfish laziness that we don't take the warnings. So we run into these problems now that, we need another $1,000 to cover this damage or $10,000, well, that money doesn't come from nowhere. And it's just all the same concept of using our opportunities while we have them. Right now here in America, we still have such opportunities, but we are more concerned about spending a couple $100 all the time, every opportunity we get to upgrade or do these little insignificant, unimportant, urgent things, the not important, urgent things like a concert or a trip out to wherever. It just racks up money, and not only are we not making money, we're spending it on things that we really don't need. Not to say never take vacation or go to a concert, but when it's consuming us, that we're just living to get out of work, we're just working so that we don't have to work, instead of going to work with the mentality that this job that I'm doing is not about me, it's not about the money that I make, it's about serving God. That's the essence that helps us to take those opportunities when they come, when it's a little thing to a big thing, that the consequence isn't immediate, and so we're tempted to not take the extra load when we're already balanced or when we already have a good workload. We're afraid to take the extra responsibility sometimes, or even just do our job completely and correctly like we are supposed to. We just loaf. We don't care because we aren't desperate enough, and so we're running into all of these problems where the snowball effect is at the point where it's too big to stop on your own. It is too big to stop with a small handful of people in the community. It needs every single, or at least 90% of people. There's always going to be that 10% that is lazy and hopeless. But the other vast majority, which there is still, but that vast majority is being silent. Go figure, the silent majority. Why are we being silent? That concept should not exist. There should not be a silent majority. There should be the foundational majority. There should be the backbone, the outspoken majority, which doesn't tolerate liberal crap, liberal lies and evil, this twisted agenda, which is just utterly manipulative and deceptive. They sound like they're good and compassionate and they're the correct opinion, yet that is all a sugar-coated mask. When you watch like the Comedy Central talk show guys or whoever, that is their real mentality. They all identify with those hateful, angry, spiteful, liberal, socialist, communist mentality of the evil church and evil homeschooling parents and bigoted gun murderers. They basically think we're murderers because we have guns or something. Yet we just sit quietly by and think, oh, whatever, doesn't matter. Well, we're at the point where even if we do start standing up, it's kind of almost too late in a sense. Because in the past 20 years, Rush Limbaugh has said it this way, we've been warning about the future and the signs of bad things. We've been warning to not do this and that because this will happen. Well, we're already at that thing happening. We're at that point where it's like, all right, we already got both hands caught in the cookie jar. Everyone. And we are going to have to suffer punishment, basically. And anybody that thinks that is evil, is far right, judgmental mentality, well, look around. Do you think we're going to get out of this before it gets worse? Do you think that all of a sudden America's just going to put a pep in their step? There's not a fire under our butts yet. Our feet aren't to the fire, which they might be literally. Call me crazy, but look around, open your eyes, stop pretending like this is the new normal. The culture is so sex-driven and just deceived and propagandized that it's, oh my goodness, we're going to suffer. Something is coming. It's hard to say what it's going to be, but many people, I mean, it's kind of plain as day. There's another bubble, the financial bubble, which is getting ready to burst. All of the government infrastructure and the government jobs, they're all on credit. They own, like, what is it? 40% of the government's 40% of the government spending should not exist, to say the least. Much less to save money. God dang it, man. What happened to the concept of not spending more than you earn, or saving for a rainy day fund? Well, instead, we're doing the 180-degree opposite, where we're spending almost 50% more than we take in, and we already take in a freaking lot. Like, what else? What do you freaking need all the trillions of dollars a year to run what? To do what? To shuffle these politicians around and pay their incomes? Okay, $1 billion, maybe, to pay all of the federal politicians. Then you got the federal agencies, which are 99% crocs. So this has all happened due to the apathy of the church and the superficiality of the grassroots, where we are just concerned about the blades of the grass on top, and each one looking their best to promote their own lives, yet not realizing, because we think, oh, I can do this and it'll benefit me, even though it's wrong if everyone else does it. I'm still going to do it because I need to. I need the extra boost. My life of integrity isn't enough. It's not enough for me to just be honest and concerned about others. I need to hold out for number one. That is the biggest evil in America. Look out for number one. Yeah, I'm going to take care of my money. Yeah, I'm going to not let myself get ripped off. But that mentality is straight up wrong. We're so concerned about number one's comfort rather than everybody else. That you can't have a bunch of number ones. We make up a body, not a bunch of heads. We can't have a bunch of heads walking around. You gotta have feet, hands, lungs, fingers. You gotta have every body part working together to build a community and culture. But when we are all so concerned about letting other people know on Facebook, check out what I got, or just stupid stuff, it is scary and sobering. This isn't fear-mongering, this is reality. I don't care what people think anymore, because we're at the point where, by me not shouting from the rooftops, I'm part of the problem. So I'm not letting that happen anymore. I'm not going to stand by and shrink to the liberal arguments that you see on my Facebook. It is so just ridiculous what they throw at me, yet I don't, like, they're just such illegitimate arguments It is not, I should not shrink down. I should continue to stand and sound the alarm because nobody else is. There are some, but they are viewed as a radical group. Well, I'm not radical. I'm realistic. Everybody knows it. They are just afraid to be cast out or seen as radical or be unliked because they're more concerned about what people think about them and their stuff than they are about truth and God's ways and His Word and His reality. They're more concerned about number one, and that's really what it is. We gotta have our life taken care of, otherwise it's basically distrusting God. It's saying, I don't trust God. I don't trust His truth to live by that truth. That's not enough for me to just do 1 and 1 plus 1 and 1 equals 2, rather than trying to manipulate things and multiply our productivity. Well, it is. Anywho, that's my talk on the state of our apathy, and that being the root problem. And it's no mistake, it's Satan's design. Yeah, the less we buy into it, the better. And it's never too late. There's no legitimate, it's like, oh well, too late, let's just give up. What the freaking heck? That only makes us pitfall. We can at least slow it down by starting today, right now, getting up and doing what you know you should be doing. That's all, folks.